Welcome to The Girl Herd,
where we talk Texas football.
and a bunch of takes you've probably already heard.
But not from us.
Coming off of a bye week into playing Georgia.
Heading to Athens for the first time in SEC play. It's crazy because it's our third time playing them in almost like one calendar year, but our first time playing them at their field. So it's going to be a different flow, which everyone says between the hedges. It's crazy out there, and I'm excited for us to kind of find out.
I know that's what like everyone's talking about playing there, and of course their record of how many games they've won there, 51, only lost 2 games in the last 53 since 2017. That's quite a record. But I also know that one of our favorite games, being Alabama, and going there was a similar record and having won most of their games at home. So I'm going to hope that's going to be in our favor as well.
Records are meant to be broken. We love being the record breakers. We always talk on this pod about how our team loves to be the underdog and the villain, though Vegas does not have us as an underdog at all. Yeah. So that part's really interesting. But I think in terms of our feeling, they're ranked higher than us, and we have every opportunity in front of us. This is really, really a great time for college football because I just feel like the ratings are going to go up with these last 3 games. Everything is on the line. Sark mentioned it in his press conference. Nothing's decided with our conference yet. Like, people will be watching us, and it's nerve-wracking for us as fans, but I bet it's like super fun for the players.
Yeah, it's crazy that we've had how many, all these games, and now we're going into these last 3 and we're like, but we still have everything to go. But this is what, we've talked about before. We want to be like playing our best ball now too. So and it makes the end of the season really exciting regardless of how it turns out. So
yeah, Sark mentioned, he was like, this is so good for the sport of college football and it's so competitive. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, I don't know how much I like that. Like, I'm trying to like Texas dynasty, all that stuff we were saying over the summer. I'm looking for that. This whole like, Michelle, I don't know how closely you were watching the games over the weekend, but they kept on putting like in our SEC games, they kept putting the standings, and it was like 1 through 5, and I was like, man, this is hard. This is hard, But I mean, that's what Sark was talking about. But personally, I don't know.
There was so much going on. I mean, I know we were talking a lot in our chat about like what we wanted to happen over this weekend and better or worse and standings and all of the above. And I mean, I will say we'll take our bye week win, if you will, of jumping in the AP poll. Though what does that matter? But I would not want to play a Georgia team that just lost either. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying that both about Georgia as well as A&M. And here's the reality. I love chaos. Like, I was sitting at home and every single game went exactly opposite of what I wanted to happen. I'm just here like hoping on a prayer for LSU, our little cousins to the east of us in Louisiana, and that didn't work out. We're watching Indiana and Penn State, poor Penn State. That didn't work out. I was getting increasingly more mad watching all these games. Like, I wanted my hate watch to be fun. It like was not fun. Good football though, but at the end of the day, it only cheapens our schedule if those teams lose. Like, we want to like destroy A&M. It's like everyone's like, oh, they're going to be marching in the DKR and defeated good. Because I see their fans also saying like, yeah, they're a lock for the playoff. Okay. So that's a whole different vibe when you start talking about that last game of the year before your postseason. We know they haven't been to the postseason in a while. Like, they want those things. So they could easily overlook us. And it's a different flow for us where it's like, we have to win these games to even make a playoff. So personally, I think it's better, although I just think it's always funny when our ops lose. So
that's what I was wondering, like, what did you really feel or want or whatever? Yeah. I mean, yes, it's fun. It's, you're on a bye, and so you're like, haha, down goes some. But I agree that I was having this discussion too, that it would cheapen our, and like, how does that help us right now with every narrative that's out there? If for some reason one of them lost before playing us, it would just end up being against us.
Yeah. Did you see that Kirby Smart had texted Sark?
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny because they like asked Sark about it today in the press conference too. But the reason why I thought it was funny was like, not only are the fans who are part of the SEC have to deal with like the far drive. So do the teams. Like it's wild, you know, and I wish that we were heading out to Athens, and I know we will go in the future. And I'm already looking ahead to next season with Rocky Top and some of these games within our conference. But I'm like, sheesh, even the team can't stay like right there because there's nothing available in these towns.
Well, as they were talking about that, I was thinking about it. Like we've talked about where the team may stay or where they might not stay, and especially with all of our travels and what we have to do too. But yeah, agreed. It's interesting how these towns work out and where you have to stay and how far you have to travel, all those things. But I mean, I think there's going to be a pretty good group that's going to go to Athens. We are not going. We laugh because we're like, we pretty much were at a home field advantage for them in the SEC championship, but still didn't make it to Athens. So we still want to make it there, but isn't going to happen this round.
Yeah, a lot of people who I feel like don't usually travel, I see them saying they're going to the Georgia game. So that has to be super exciting for them. I mean, I posted earlier in the year my record of going to these games overall, and people were like, maybe you need to be staying home. So hopefully I'm a good luck charm for not going to the game. Unfortunately, I was bit with the fall wedding bug. So I will personally be in Austin, Texas at a wedding this weekend, which is my second fall wedding of the season. So y'all, PSA, put those weddings not in football, please.
I know. I know. There's so much coming up, like Friendsgivings and all these things are happening. And people are like, are you going to be able to make it? I'm like, if it's on a Saturday, at this point, it's not likely.
Yeah, totally. I also, you know us, we love to plan. And so like looking ahead to the game we are going to, the Arkansas game, I noticed they like didn't give us our time today. I'm like, people, come on. I mean, I'm banking on the fact that that's going to be a 2:30 one. I don't know why they would put that game at night. But I'm like, I need to get it together with my outfit and the weather and also our schedule of what we're doing. So I was like, come on, people.
I know, same. I've been thinking about it a lot. I saw somebody tweet CDC asking what time the game was going to be, and he was like, hopefully we'll find out early next week. So agreed. Like this weather is knocking. I mean, I do not sound like myself today. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if I've been talking too much. I don't know if it's because I didn't take Fireball this weekend and kill all the germs. But yeah, I mean, the weather is definitely probably playing a factor in it. And I'm curious. I have like ish. I mean, you'll be proud of me. I have ish outfits that I would wear.
Very shocking. We're talking like, we're not talking this weekend. We're talking next weekend. Like that's almost 14 days away. Yeah. That's a shock. This is like a record for you.
Yeah. I may know what I'm going to wear to A&M, Arkansas, Georgia. But the weather takes another, I don't know, random turn. I'm unclear.
Yeah, I mean, I looked ahead on weather.com. I mean, if it's a daytime game, it's going to feel very similar to how it felt for Vandy. I think like maybe a touch cooler. So those daytime games where they say 70 degrees trick you every time. I'm like, I will not be tricked.
Like if the sun is out or behind a cloud, it's very different.
No, it really is different though. Like it was funny because Emily Ann wrote on my Insta for that game. She was like, you're gonna be cool. Like, but I wasn't, girl. But she was wearing more long sleeve, but her seats were also down lower bowl in like west side. So she's in the shade. So it's like, not us, freaking Terrace Club. The sun is like, hello.
It's right there. I know. Hopefully it's not raining again. We don't need that again. But
the forecast right now, I mean, the forecast is so far out still, but it has rain on it. But I'm like,
no.
That's pretty fake. Yeah.
We can't have that. Well, at least you'll have a good, fun weekend in Austin this weekend and get to.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. We'll be in Austin. You know, the team won't be in Austin, and so traffic will probably be better. And yeah, it'll be nice. Bee Caves at County Line on the lake. Which, by the way, Glenn Powell just was featured there in a magazine. Him and his family took a photo shoot there. So the bride actually DM'd me and was like, "Glenn might be at the restaurant this night. He loves this place." And I'm like, yeah, because I mean, Glenn, if you're listening, also if anyone who knows Glenn is listening, message us, DM us. We want Glenn Powell on the pod. So hopefully he's at County Line this coming Saturday. You never know.
I know. Yeah. Come on. Come hang out with us. You said you like women in burnt orange. There's nothing better here.
Yes.
I know. I'm hoping that Angie and I are able to get a game watch going and doing something here in Houston. It's a night game. It's against Georgia. We need everyone together. The vibes that you're going to have in Austin is going to be perfect for this. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this game. Now, we've talked about this, of course, and I'm sad that Angie's not here to think about this. But like, if you had to lose a game in these next three, Georgia, Arkansas, or A&M, what would you choose?
So I just think it's very obvious. They are going to, the committee for the CFP is going to weigh what happens. I almost feel like they don't care what happens in Arkansas. And that sounds really crazy and controversial considering the conversation right now is the fact that we could go 9-3 and one of those losses is to Florida. So in that regard, I could see how it's like, okay, well, clearly it can't be Arkansas. But to me, in the grand scheme of things, if we go 2-1 and we have 2 ranked wins over really powerhouse programs in our conference, yeah, I think that gets us in. I think that still gets us in if we lose to Arkansas. Like, I really do. And so people have been talking about the 12-team playoff, and a lot hinges on what the committee thinks of Big 12. I think they're going to be one bid league. ACC, of course, will be one bid league. And so when you start to count up the teams, it's why I mentioned last week that we're going to have 5 teams go from the SEC. So that's we still control our own destiny. I would need to look at the standings, but Vandy, they lost again, right? So they lost, right? I can't remember. Yeah. Well, so yeah, if we lost to Arkansas, it sounds crazy, but I still somehow think that it's going to be weighed less than the wins over the 2 top 5 teams.
Yeah. I guess I was like, I mean, I don't put them out. They like gave A&M a good push as well. I just, my head more is like Georgia or A&M. And of course I answered some of this question as well on the shorts, but and everyone that listens, like, I can't lose to A&M. I don't really want that. I don't want that to be our last game at home. But I could see Georgia being, a factor, and of course playing there and all of the things that play. But I do like your thoughts around like what could happen.
That would be wild. It would be wild. But yeah, like, and they might try to downgrade us though against the other conferences with those 2 losses being really bad losses. But we'll see when the next ranking comes out and as the weeks unfold, how they're weighing things. Because I remember last season, it was a big convo of like, oh, we have to go review their rules of like what all they review. And it's like 17 different things that they're like looking at. And so it's interesting to see. I mean, it's just not a great time. It's just not a great time this season for me as a Longhorn fan. I'll just say that. After the conclusion of the games, Frank texted me talking about Roll Tide, Roll, and Aggie. And I was like, why is my phone? No. And it's like, again, you want to enjoy your bye week. And I did on a personal standpoint, but from a playing the game standpoint, I'm annoyed because I'm like, I can't even talk right now because we didn't play a game. And I said, well, it's looking like they're probably going to be the ones that go to Atlanta. And he's like, I love to hear you say this. Like, we'll see. But even he was like, we have to play Auburn. And he's like, the kick 6. He's like, I'll never forget. I was like, man, I didn't say that. I was being a very sweet girlfriend, and I didn't say how that was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be like everything's going down to the wire, and it's just giving me like the good anxiety. So,
well, and all these, like, we can sit here and we can talk stats and we can talk about offense, defense, all these things, but in all actuality, like, anything can happen in any of these games. We've seen teams play different week on week and how what they're bringing to the table. And then of course you have these different atmospheres that, people haven't played in before, and then emotions. And now you're down to the wire last few games. Like, what does this mean? Yeah, I agree that I like that we, at this point we're just playing. We get to just play and see what happens. Right.
I think it's house money, right? Like, I think that we started out preseason number 1, which funny thing about the rankings combo in a minute after this, we fell out of the top 25. We were back to the top 10, and they were saying how that's like a record swing for like college football history and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think that it's a good feeling for us because we are playing with house money. We went to the mountaintop, we went out, we're climbing back. And yes, every single game, like, the team seems very focused. Arch was like, we're focused on today. Like, Saturday we'll get here. We're focused on today. And I think if they really do have that focus, I mean, you've seen the change in him on the field. He's seeing it a lot better. And I think it's because that focus has built in all of the like whatever outside noise has just gone away because people started forgetting about our team a little bit. But in terms of the number one ranking, I'm so curious because you have strong feelings about the Aggies.
Oh God.
They're asking Lane Kiffin about the Aggies, and he was just like, they have the highest bar ever and like the hardest standards to be number one. He's like, I don't know why they're number three. He's like, what else do they need to prove? So what are your thoughts on that take? And what do you think? Do you think that Aggie should be number one?
I don't know if I can ever say that, you know. I always like to like dig in deeper and see like what teams all have played each other. I mean, because there's this narrative as well of like us versus Notre Dame, and where we should be and who they played. And I don't know if I've gone down the rabbit hole of everyone that A&M's played. We kind of talked about this earlier of like not really watching them as much until it comes up to the game. But like, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, the funny thing is, we talked about the number one ranking so much, right? So
right. What does it matter?
I feel like A&M's like, whatever, bro. Like, we don't want that because like that comes with that target, right? So I feel like I want them to be one because some things will happen to them. But it's like, no, like Mike Elko is he's got this quiet, secret assassin way, and it's working for Texas A&M. So it'll work until the day after.
I think it's funny because even like leading up to the season, I was talking to Aggies and they were like, I hate playing you guys now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you have a really great quarterback. You guys have a great team. It was a great game last year. Yes, I know I can a little biased say I can say that coming out with a win, but like y'all played a good game and like who knows what can happen. And so it's now funny going into this season and seeing them be really good and now they're all like talking crap and you're like, you guys going in really had no idea how you were gonna play. And I'm over here being like, you have a good team. Like y'all should be proud of it.
I think it's funny how this season has gone. It's like the things that I have to like tell myself to like feel great about things. And one of them is the Aggies online. They are worried about our game. So I'm like, yeah, like at the end of the day, you might be number three, you might be undefeated, but you nervous. And I just think that energy is not fake. It's real, right? That pressure starts to build when you are an undefeated team who has your eyes on the postseason. You don't ever want your last game to not be the championship. And that's going to be really hard for them to do. They will get one exhibition, which is your SEC title game. So you can lose that and then you still have everything to play for, which I guess it's a funny argument for the conference games because people were talking about those should go away and they're not meaningful. But I'll bet you coaches and teams alike probably like that it's a game where you can see what's going on and what your postseason is going to look like. And win or lose, you are likely still headed to the postseason in at least the scenario of our conference specifically.
Yeah. They were talking a lot about that too. Like it won't go against you, which we talked a lot about last year too. So hopefully, I mean, I could see teams like they asked last year too. I can see them still wanting it just because it is your conference and, you're curious down to the wire. You want to be able to say you were the best team in the SEC or whatever it may be. So,
yeah, I think it'll be, if everything, we don't know what will happen, but if it was played today, it would be against the two undefeated teams, which is Bama and A&M. And I do like that because they don't play each other this year.
Right.
So my dad was like asking me all about our new conference and the games. And he's all excited already about Baton Rouge next year. But he was like, wait, he's like, I don't like this. He's like, there's too many teams. He's like, all these conferences. He even was talking about the Big Ten. And he's like, everybody needs to play everybody. And I'm like, that reminded me of college, whenever it was like, you had to play. It didn't matter. You playing everybody. And I hate that we don't have that because now our schedule's changing next year. And I hate that the narrative online is like, oh, well, you didn't play any of the tough teams in the SEC. Like every year that keeps coming up. But I am excited for the SEC title game, especially if it's different than last year, meaning two teams that didn't play end up playing.
Yeah. Even if that means not us.
Yeah, I've kind of written it off. Like we probably won't be in that. I want us to be at the playoff. My goal for us is not the conference title game. And honestly, we did it last year. Yes, I want us to play in it every year, but I also want us to like have some extra rest time this time and have a different flow for the 12-team playoff. So That's my personal preference.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing. Yeah, at this point, let's get to the playoffs. Don't ask for too much, Michelle. But
I mean, but what would it say? What would it say about this program? Again, I still think we're so disrespected. I still think people have question marks about us. And I don't mean on this year. I mean, like this year, yes, was a big year because of the number one and falling out. But if Sark takes his team 3 years in a row, we are the only team, only program with that streak. So what does it mean?
yeah. And the fact that it's still possible and people had written us all off. I still, like I was, you did the comment on the narratives and what everyone says, and there's so many comments on it and who's lost and what, like everyone just keeps wanting to talk about our Florida loss, but no one wants to talk about the fact that our other losses to Ohio State. Like it's so quickly written off, all of our stuff. It's just, it's the swing of like, honestly, the swing of being number one to out to in of the AP poll tells you a lot about how people feel about Texas and expectations even outside of our fan base, like
I will say the one thing about Florida though, we shouldn't have lost. Like it's looking worse and worse. Like that was one thing from the weekend where I was like, I'm just so like, if there's one thing stuck in my craw about the season, it is definitely that game. Because it's like, okay, if you would have just won that game and now we're looking at a whole different flavor these next 3 weeks. And again, you've got a little bit of breathing room. Everything is, you have to be perfect. And the way, like you said, that people are talking about Florida and that game and their coach being fired, it's like,
the coach,
that like wasn't good. That was not a good game to lose, unfortunately. In fact, of course, so happy that we won against OU. Like I couldn't imagine. It was wonderful after the fair. I was like, I didn't see no more around. It was just great, blissful. But it would have been better looking at this point had we won against Florida and we lost the OU game. And that's wild to say. Of course, that's not the outcome I'd ever want, but it's just the facts.
I know. Well, that's why you think a lot about these next 3 games and what they can mean and what the narrative will be no matter what we do, which is why we just need to go win them all. Please, can we finally beat these Georgia Bulldogs?
Well, remember last year we were down 20-0.
Yeah.
And it's like Arch and Quinn were like memed. I mean, it annoys me every single time they post that image because it's like them like deer in headlights on the bench. And it's like, okay, this is not great if you guys are both looking this way. And so one thing that stuck out to me from today's press time was that they asked Sark and they asked Arch the same thing about like, is this game about any revenge? Is this game anything from last year to get them back? And they both said no. And I was like, I'm going ahead and say that's probably just what they told the media. But there's just no way that they're not like, I'm not about to get embarrassed. Because that was the first part of the game was embarrassing. We did better at the conference championship, but I'm talking about the regular season game. So I hope that they take that and funnel that energy and really start off strong. And I think Arch will. I think Arch has some things up his sleeve for Saturday, for sure.
Yeah, I know. When they answered that, I couldn't decide whether I was like happier that there's no room or not. But like, I get it that if you just want to focus on what's ahead, and this is, they're a different team on both sides, Georgia and the Longhorns. So it's just like, okay, fine. You want to say no, that's fine. People are going to spin whatever narrative they want to anyways. But we, as fans, really would like to beat them. Thank you.
No more dogs barking.
No more dog barking, please.